Hi guys, let's continue talking about the sentence elements. So we talked about the subject and the three different possible subjects that we have in the language, and now I want to talk to you about the different predicates that we find in the sentence. As you can see, as I was explaining to you, just as we have three different subjects, we also have three different possibilities for the predicate, right? So we have a simple predicate, we have a complete predicate, and we have a compound predicate. Now, what is the simple predicate? To put it simply, the simple predicate is the action that is being carried out, or the action that we talk about regarding the subject. It is as simple as one word, for example, go. In the case of the sentence, they go to work on time all the time. They go to work on time all the time. So in that case, the verb is go. If I have a negative sentence, if I say something like they didn't accept the results, they didn't accept the results, in that case, the verb is did accept. As you may have noticed, I didn't include the adverb not. I didn't say the simple predicate is did not accept. Why is that? Well, because in the simple predicate, we are only going to include the verb and its auxiliaries. It may be a modal auxiliary, or it can be an auxiliary like do or did. Only those. We don't include adverbs. It's only about the action words. How many verbs can I include in the simple predicate? As long as they are acting as a single element, as long as they are working together, you can include 3 or sometimes 4 verbs, including auxiliaries, right? Modal auxiliaries. Consider the case of this sentence. They have finished on time. They have finished on time. A simple predicate would be have finished. If I get something more complex like the woman must have seen who took her wallet, the woman must have seen who took her wallet. In that case, the simple predicate is must have seen, right? So, because the 3 verbs are working together as one single element. So we have the verb that transmits the meaning of the action, seen, and I have the modal auxiliary must and the modal have. These 3 words are working together to transmit the idea of the action. And what about the the complete predicate? What is the complete predicate? The complete predicate is, to put it simply, everything that we say about the subject. How is that? Yes, think about it. Everything that is not the subject is the predicate. Everything that is not a modifier for the simple subject is going to be the predicate, the complete predicate. So I may have something like the woman must have seen who took her wallet. The complete predicate is must have seen who took her wallet. If I have a sentence that says they will not go, the complete predicate is will not go. What? Yeah, and what is a simple predicate then? Will go, because remember that the particle not is an adverb. That is not a modal. You must not include it. Even if it is contracted, we do not include it. And what is the compound predicate? I think you already have an idea of what I am about to say. A compound predicate is when we say 2 things about the subject. when I have two independent main verbs which may be accompanied by auxiliaries or not, right? They may be accompanied by auxiliaries or not, as long as you have two main verbs that are working independently. And remember, excuse me, it seems I'm having a little cold or something. I didn't mention this, but the compound subject is joined by either coordinating or correlative conjunctions. So if I have a coordinating or a correlative conjunction that is joining the verbs, that is a clue that I will get to say that I have a compound predicate, and that's the way we join them, with commas, of course, and the last element is joined with a coordinating conjunction usually, and particularly we use and sometimes but, sometimes or, and a few times nor. But most of the times it's and, the one that we use the most. So if I say this sentence, after the rain, some people left their homes and went to work. After the rain, some people left their homes and went to work. In that sentence, the compound predicate is left, comma, went. And what about the other words? No, we do not include them because we are only incorporating simple predicates, right? Simple predicates are only the verbs. And, excuse me, and if they have modifiers, then we have to include them as well. So if I have a sentence that has two main verbs, and those two main verbs also have modals that modify them, then I am going to include them as part of the compound predicate. An example of this, consider this. The kittens have played with their mom and have eaten their food. In this case, I have a compound predicate because I have two different actions: have played, yes, and have eaten. So the compound predicate is going to be have played and have eaten. And that is how we identify a compound predicate. Something important about the compound predicate. Because we are classifying elements, there are certain rules that we are going to follow. The most important rule regarding the predicate and actually also the subject is that in a sentence, in a simple sentence, that means that I only have one subject, either it is complete, compound, or simple, and one predicate. I am taking out of the equation right now I am taking out the case of compound sentences, compound complex sentences. I am taking them out of this class because they are a little more complex to analyze. Right now we are working with simple sentences. So in these cases, we are going to find only two possibilities for subjects in each sentence. So in a sentence, you are going to have, for example, a simple subject and a complete subject. Or you are going to find a compound subject and a complete subject. But you cannot have you cannot have the three of them. Why? Because when you classify a compound subject, you are telling people that you have multiple simple subjects. So when I classify this, I am saying, hey, I have many of these, or I have more than one of these. So it doesn't make sense to classify the three different subjects for the one verb, right? The same with the predicate. I am going to have either a simple predicate and a complete predicate, or I am going to have a compound predicate and a complete predicate. Okay, so teacher, in every sentence I am going to have a simple predicate and a complete predicate, or I am going to have a compound predicate and a complete predicate. No, not all the time. How is that? Because remember that I can say something very simple and simply use a subject, a simple subject, and a simple predicate. It can be that simple, and that makes a sentence. And that transmits a complete thought, a complete meaning. It carries complete meaning. If I say something like, she left, that's a complete idea. She left. If I say something like, Raul ate, that's also a complete thought. So I can have a simple subject and a simple predicate, and these two elements can make a sentence. I can have also a simple subject, and I can have a complete predicate and a simple predicate. Or I could have a simple subject and have a complete predicate and a compound predicate, and the other way around. So it can be that a sentence can have actually a compound predicate and a compound subject, a complete subject, a complete predicate, and a compound predicate. That is also possible. So teacher, I may have a simple subject then and a simple predicate, or the other possibilities are to have a simple and a complete, or a compound and a complete. Not really, because you can also have a compound subject. You can have a compound subject and a compound predicate, and not have complete subjects and complete predicates. How is that? Yes, because it's the same thing. We can extrapolate the idea that if I can have a simple subject and a simple predicate, I can also have a compound subject and a complete predicate, a compound predicate, and not have modifiers. If I have this subject, Maria and Francisco went and stayed. Maria and Francisco went and stayed. That's possible. It's not the most elaborate thought, of course. It's not the most complex idea, but it also makes sense. And with this guys, I am going to finish my explanation on the predicate. And in the next video, I am going to be talking about different elements that we have in the predicate. The other elements that we are going to be studying, we are missing 6 different elements that we can have in a sentence. These are basic elements, of course, and we only find them in the predicate, not in the subject. I'll see you in the next video, guys.